Spindle, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to resample kicks. Now, if you're wondering what that means, it's basically just taking multiple kick samples, sound designing them individually, and then bouncing them all played back together into one audio file, or in other words, your own unique sample. So if you're wondering why you would resample kicks together, it's basically gives you a chance to create your own unique kick. So let's get started. I'm going to create a couple audio tracks by pressing Command T. Now I'm going to go ahead and group these newly made audio tracks together by selecting their headings and pressing Command G. And I'll show you why I did that later. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to my samples folder and start to find some kicks. And you don't want two kicks that sound the same. You want kicks that kind of sound a lot different from each other. If you pick two kicks that have a lot of low frequency content, it's just going to become really muddy. So pick contrasting kicks. Maybe like a low kick, a high kick, a snappy kick, maybe a kick with some of that natural metal rattle that you might get from the pedal. So I'm going to go ahead and start previewing kicks and then drag them into the arrangement view if I like them. So this one has a lot of low frequency content, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And this one sounds nice and punchy, so I'm going to go ahead and add this one in. And this one kind of has like a nice snap to it. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. So now I already have my loop marker set. If you want, go ahead and drag a loop marker to like a half a bar and make sure the loop switch is on. Then I'm going to go ahead and play these all back together. Okay, so obviously it's clipping like crazy and it sounds like crap, so I'm going to go ahead and select all these tracks that my kicks are in and turn them down until you don't see any clipping in the group track. Okay, so it sounds much better. Now if you guys want, you could just end the process right there and just bounce all these out as one audio file. But I'm going to go ahead and sound design each and every one of them, and I'll show you what I mean. Now before we do that, go ahead and click on this drop down arrow on all of them and go to fades. And make sure that you bring this left fade marker all the way to the left. Ableton automatically adds fades to the beginning and the ends of audio clips to prevent clicking. And you can turn that off in your preferences. But so go ahead and make sure you do that. I'm gonna go ahead and solo this first kick. And maybe mess with the right fade marker to get rid of some of the decay. So the farther to the left you drag the right fade marker, the faster it's in a decay. Now I'm going to go to my second kick, mess with that. I like it nice and punchy with a short decay, so I shorten it quite a bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and solo my third kick. Okay, and I think that sounds pretty good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and play them all three back again. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and start kind of sound designing them individually. So I'm going to add an EQ8 to all of them. Or any EQ plugin you want to use. And then I'm going to go ahead and solo my top kick and kind of start to sound design it. Now since this one has a lot of low frequency content, I might get rid of most of the highs. Whoops, wrong EQ. Let's try this again. Okay, so I might just want to keep this nice low thump. It sounds like it has some nice low sub frequencies in there, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to go to this next kick. Start messing with that kick's EQ. Get rid of some of the lows since that first kick is already containing most of the lows. And that sounds good for now. We might come back to that one. Now let's go ahead and solo our third kick. Now on this kick I might just want to keep the highs, so maybe I'll just like completely take out the lows. And maybe I'll emphasize the highs a little bit. Okay, so now guys, you could spend countless hours doing this, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to make it quick. So let's go ahead and sound what these all sound like together. And maybe while I'm playing them back all together, I'll go back and individually sound design these even more. So let's go ahead and solo the whole group. Okay, so I think that sounds pretty good the way it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and maybe mess with the gain of the individual kicks. Okay, so like I said, you can spend a lot of time doing this. So let's assume that we really like this. And now I'm going to go to the group track. Maybe add an EQ8 to shape the overall sound. Okay, so I think that sounds a little bit better just by doing that. And now the final process, I'm gonna add a glue compressor, and this is basically gonna glue all three of the kicks together. So since you want the attack of the kick to go through, you want probably a slower attack and 4:1 ratio, and maybe we'll mess with the release settings. And I'm just gonna bring down the threshold just a little bit just to give it a little compression hug to tie all three of the kicks together. Now I can see we're clipping, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring the gain of the EQ down. Okay, there we go. Now bring the threshold down just so you see a little bit of gain reduction. Then go ahead and turn the makeup gain up to about how much gain reduction you did. So that's about a decibel. Okay, bypass this. Okay, so as you can tell, it sounds a little bit more cohesive and punchy. So now let's say I love the way this kick sounds. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add another audio track by pressing Command T. Go to this drop down arrow and go to resampling. Hit your arm button. Turn the loop switch off, and then we're gonna go ahead and record all these kicks play together. So now we have our kick sample. Go ahead and delete your group track. Now we officially have one audio file with all those kicks play together, and you officially have your own unique kick. Now go ahead and go to your fades again and make sure this is all the way to the left. And if you want, mess with the decay. Okay, so I think that sounds pretty good. That's how you resample kicks. If you wanted to save this, you could drag this clip from the arrangement view into your browser, into a folder, and it would let you rename it and save it. Or if you wanted to, you could create a MIDI track, drag in a drum rack, and then just drag this audio clip to an empty drum rack slot. And then you can play it on your keyboard or drum pad or whatever. So that's how you resample kicks, guys. It can be a time-consuming process, but if you're feeling creative, it's definitely worth giving it a shot. So if you like this tutorial, do me a favor and hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Comment, leave me feedback. If you want me to make another tutorial, let me know. I'll most likely be more than happy to. Do me a favor, follow me on SoundCloud, Facebook. The links are in the video description below. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helped you out, and take it easy.